In a land where cacti outnumber cell towers and the horizon stretches further than a fiber optic cable, it's time for Valley's Bits, Bytes and Banter, the podcast that looks a bit behind the scenes of a broadband provider, takes a big bite out of the tech world, and serves up a healthy dose of banter with people in our community. And now, without further ado, here's your host, Bob Dahlstrom.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, our podcast that Ralph Score, my co-host and partner in crime, and I do together for Valley TeleCom.
Yeah, we're on location today.
Yeah, we're actually traveled today. We're on location, and we were so excited to get to come and talk to today's guest. Like we said, we try to feature interesting people in our communities, and we, no exception today, we have a great guest today, I think.
And we are all the way down in Columbus, New Mexico.
Yes, we are.
Yeah.
What a village of Columbus.
Yeah.
Guys, if you've never traveled down in this part of the country, you need to come down. It's beautiful down here.
It's really
cool.
is.
Love it down here.
There's a lot of great stuff. You got Pancho Villa State Park, and it's just a really, really fascinating landscape and a great community. We love coming down to the community.
Yeah, we really do. And we don't get to come down here near enough. It's one of the communities right now where we are right in the middle of a fiber upgrade project here throughout Columbus, which is exciting for all of us.
Yeah.
I mean, we're excited to finally have it going and ramping up.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll be installing people soon.
And I'm pretty sure that means when we start installing that we're going to have some sort of a community cookout again down here.
I would imagine we will. We'll come down and celebrate with everybody.
Do dogs and corn, right?
There we go. Perfect. I love it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we are down here in Columbus, New Mexico, and I don't think that gives it away yet who our guest is, but we'll talk about that.
You'll know soon enough.
You'll know very soon. Very soon.
That's like
who that
QAnon.
is.
It's like, how do I know? You'll know when you hear it.
Guys, I do want to mention if this is your first time listening, thanks for listening to us. You can check out all our episodes at Podbean. You can either download the free app or you can go to podbean.com, search Valley's Bits with an apostrophe S, and you will find us. We're also on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, or pretty much anywhere you download and get your podcasts.
And on YouTube, and we're also on our website at vtc.net/blog, and you can find all our episodes there.
And it's funny because we're not videotaping. These are not video podcasts yet, but on YouTube, it's great because we have the image. You can listen, you can follow along, you can read the transcript as you go along.
It's captioned, and now we said yet because coming in probably May, we're going to start doing this like a 3-camera switch shoot video, like a TV show with graphics and everything.
We're really going to take it to the next level.
rehearsal. Yes, I can see it now.
Yeah, we'll be practicing, get it down.
Yeah.
Bits, Bytes, and Banter 2.0.
That's right.
Will be coming your way very, very soon.
But we're excited about that.
But Ralph, you've brought some information, some tech news and things we want to talk about.
Yeah, usually we find some stuff from the FCC or from NTCA, which is the Rural Broadband Association. But anyway, most everybody now carries a phone with them, right? And a lot of people travel, right? Some people, they want to travel internationally. A lot of people don't realize this, but when you first get your phone from whoever your provider is, they do what they call a locked software, right? And that's so that you can't automatically take it over to another provider.
Right.
Until the
proprietary
until the
to
phone
that
is paid for.
when you got it from.
And then they can release it. But this is, if you're going to travel internationally, and this is whether your phone is locked or unlocked, you should check with your mobile service provider first before you travel to find out if your mobile phone will even work abroad, right? Because
good point.
Mobile networks differ from country to country, and your phone may be incompatible with the networks where you're traveling to. And also, if your phone works for voice calls, some other functions like text and that may not work. So you want to check with your service provider before you go. So, and that's the main thing. As far as, if you're a phone user and you do travel, just be aware of that, okay?
Right. Always check with your provider, and they'll help you, assist you if you need any help with those kind of things in another country.
Exactly. So, and now that's a short take. Now we move on to one of my favorite sections. This is what we call the spurious facts, or the did you know part of the show.
We probably need to come up and create an intro for spurious facts, like do. And now Ralph Score with the spurious facts.
I think we'll have to do that anyway. But today, and this is maybe a clue in on who our guest is. This is all about library and literary oddities out there, okay? I'm actually going to bring her mic
Major
up.
hint.
So did you know that libraries have more card holders than Visa and more locations than McDonald's? Right, that's
impressive.
Know, right?
That's impressive.
Yeah,
that is good to hear.
It's really good to hear. Okay.
Yes.
Now, did you know that Casanova, and a lot of people think he's fake, but Casanova, one of the greatest lovers in history, he was a librarian. That's probably where he met all these chicks that he was after. Right?
Really? Yeah. He was a librarian.
Yeah.
I did not know. Casanova, the librarian.
And before becoming the leader of the Chinese Communist movement, Mao Zedong was the librarian at Beijing University. I did not know that.
I did not know that either.
He must have read a whole lot, like, what's the one about the secrets of war? Or
The Art of
like
War.
The Art of War.
The Art of War. Everybody had a dog-eared copy of that.
And now, so that's with our library. Now, literary, do you know the Land of Oz is named after a filing cabinet?
That I knew.
Oh, see,
really?
she knew that right.
I did not know that.
L. Frank Baum had 2 filing cabinets. One was A through N, and the other one was O through Z.
I love it.
I love that.
I did not realize that's where Oz makes total sense now.
And this is too. And if you like mystery, I'm a mystery guy, right? Agatha Christie, she hated Hercule Poirot. She disliked him so much she called him a detestable, bombastic, tiresome, egocentric little creep.
Wow.
How does she really feel? That's what I wanted to know. I mean, don't hold back.
And now, Bob, this is for you. Remember I said we had typo, right? Bob's
Yep.
our typo king, right? Okay, so Mickey Spillane, right? Very pronounced right. He insisted that 50,000 copies of his book, Kiss Me Deadly, be destroyed for a single typo.
Really?
Yeah, it was the comma was left off the title.
Was left off that's a big miss.
That is a big
That's a big typo. Yeah,
Wow.
that's like getting the.
Okay, I don't blame him for
That's
that.
like getting the star's name wrong on the opening credits of a movie.
That would
Yes.
have driven me
Yeah.
crazy. I would have had been the same
Yeah, I
reaction.
can see how he did that. I'll
Wow.
bet you the publisher was none too pleased about the printer on that guy.
Right? Yeah, no kidding.
And here's a great one. I love this. If you're 2 of these, right? So Dr. Seuss wrote Green Eggs and Ham using less than 50 different words on a dare from his editor. John Milton John Milton used more than 8,000 different words on Paradise Lost.
Wow.
Yeah. And then finally, J.R.R. Tolkien was once known to have dressed up as an axe-wielding Anglo-Saxon warrior and chased his neighbor as a jest.
As one does.
Yeah.
Right?
That's right. I do that every day.
I've got an interesting fact for you. We're talking about, and this ties in, I think, because, right, you're talking libraries, you're talking books, you're talking reading, fonts come into play.
Yeah.
And did you know that Comic Sans, it's one of the most common out there, available for free. Mm-hmm. They highly discourage using it for official documents and things like that. But did you know it is one of the easiest fonts for dyslexic people to read?
Oh.
That's good to know.
Because it's such a symmetrical font, it's much easier for them to discern the letters than most other fonts.
Right.
The Comic Sans.
Oh, that makes sense.
Isn't that interesting?
Oh, that's really interesting. Yeah, that's good to know.
Yeah.
I think that would be something that teachers would like to know.
Right. I would think so too. I thought that was pretty fascinating. I was reading about that.
Yep.
But that's I dropped in for that one.
I like that.
How you like that? Huh?
That's not very spurious, Bob. I'm sorry.
No, it doesn't fit. Spurious facts with Ralph
That's right.
Score.
That's right.
Or something like that. All right, so enough of the facts, I think, right? We're excited to bring our very special guest into the conversation, and we're going to do just that right after this break. Stick around, everyone.
Hey, are you playing Fortnite?
Yeah.
Let's go, man. I'm gonna beat you so bad.
You know I could go pro if I wanted to. You do not stand a chance. Besides, we always just play against each other.
Yeah, that's true.
We need to find more people to play with.
Hey, Valley Telecom has the Fiber Gaming Network, an online community where we can compete in tournaments and win real prizes, or just meet new gamers and participate in casual game nights.
Whoa, that's so cool. But how much does it cost?
It's actually free. Valley Telecom is providing this to their community at no charge. We just go to vtc.net/gaming and sign up.
Wow, that's so awesome. Now I can show everyone I'm the best.
Get in the game with a fiber gaming network powered by Valley Telecom. Go to vtc.net/gaming to sign up today.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter. I'm your host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my co-host, Ralph Score. And if you heard from the ad we just had, Fiber Gaming Network, we're getting the word out about that. We're very excited to be a part of that. It is a free gaming community, I guess I should say. A free online gaming community available to anybody in our area.
Yep.
You get to play games against other people from around the country.
Tournaments.
You can play in tournaments. You play for prizes.
You win prizes, yes.
And they've had other, they call them raffles on there. They've had other prizes and competitions, and they've given everything away from gift cards to gaming headsets to an actual Xbox one time. So, I mean, we encourage everybody to get on and check it out. It is free. You have to register. Yeah. Go to vtc.net/gaming.
Yeah.
They'll tell you everything you need to know.
And you do have to have a gaming system.
Yep, you do have a gaming system, platform, or a computer, or
yeah.
gaming computer.
Yeah.
And you go to, it'll take you over to fibergamingnetwork.com. At the beginning, you'll see a drop-down list of providers. Find Valley Telecom and follow the steps from there and get set up. And
you're in.
Have fun. Have a good
That's
time.
right.
I'm on there, and I haven't played any of the games yet against other people on there, but I've been practicing because one of the games they've been doing is Rocket League.
Oh.
And I always describe it as it's basically you're playing soccer 3-on-3 with cars is what you're doing on the big field. So, just imagine what they could do with that. The different vehicles, you can upgrade your vehicles, blah, blah, blah.
I
And
would
it's a
get
lot of
run
fun.
over. You know that because I'm just a Pong guy. That's me. That's my extent.
You can blow up vehicles, and yeah.
Count me in.
Yeah, see, all of a sudden Ralph's back. Pulled Ralph back in. Fiber Gaming Network, guys, check it out.
Yeah.
And I also want to say, by the way, if you guys have any questions or people you think suggestions of great guests we could bring onto the podcast, you can email us at podcast@teamvtg.net.
Yeah. And we will get back to you.
And we will definitely get back to you, Ralph and I will.
And please subscribe. If you like this podcast, subscribe and tell other people about it.
Please do subscribe, review us, download episodes you can listen to. Like I said, we're not a true crime podcast. We're not doing any 8-part, 4-hour series on
Yet.
this yet. But they're 35 to 40 minutes an episode. Very, very good listening, I think. Good information and interesting stuff you get to learn.
Yeah. I think we're going to do like a murder mystery based around a library.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of libraries, we are on location, as we mentioned at the top. We're down here in Columbus, New Mexico.
Tell us who our guest is today, Bob.
I would be glad to, Ralph. Thank you very much. And we're set up here at the Public Library in Columbus, and that ties us in directly to our guest. We've been wanting to have her on for quite a while, and we're so excited to get her on there. She's the library director of the Public Library here in Columbus. She also sits among other activities. I know you've got to be a very, very busy person. You're also the chair of Historic Preservation Commission in this area as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking to Maria Constantine. Maria, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. I'm just thinking this is not going to be an expose show, right?
No, we're not Dateline or going to show up and surprise you. Anything like that. I can do my Keith Morrison impression, but that's about as far as we're going to get with that. Yeah.
No, I'm good.
Now, we've come down here because, like I said, we love the village of Columbus, and it's down here close to the border.
3 miles.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away. You're about 30 minutes south of Deming, right?
Right.
Right about, almost directly south of Deming, just about off I-10. But one of our serving areas, and we are excited. We have a fiber project going on in here, and I do want to, maybe talk a little bit about that, but that's not why we're here. We're here to talk about you, Maria.
Uh-oh.
And and the library here. So tell us a little bit about the library and the function it serves in the community.
Oh, well, the library is open more hours than anything else in town, any business or anything. So over the years, it has become a resource for the community, and a big part of that was offering the Wi-Fi through Valley Telecom. The connectivity here at home has been very low, so people had come here for years to use computers, use the Wi-Fi. Now that we're getting the fiber project, we're actually looking to expand our library services to online things.
Oh, nice.
So that will enable us to do that.
It will definitely provide you, the bandwidth to do that for sure.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, the other thing, too, like if you want to do more webcasting or something like that, that's going to open up that door for you guys here, too.
Zoom meetings, anything you want to do online, you can do it. That would be so helpful because, like you said, not only is it library, it is a central hub of the community. Like you said, people can come here, use computers,
Right.
bring their computer, use the Wi-Fi.
Well, the thing about libraries is they are a safe space. They're one of the few places left in any community where you can go in for free. Nobody expects anything of you except civil behavior. And it's an open space for you to do what you need to do and get the resources you need without judgment.
You know what? Being you're the hub, like we said, we talked about all these things. There must be lots of programs and things that you guys offer to the community in this area that they can come and be a part of.
We do. We try to offer programs, but we mainly try to connect people with programs that are already existing. So they'll come in asking about food access.
Right.
This is a food desert. It's an agricultural community, but it's hard to get fresh food. So there's a local community food bank that opened. And we have their schedule. We send people over to them. We let them know when the distributions are. We have everything in English and Spanish. Columbus has the highest rate of Spanish speakers in the state.
Wow. Really? I did not know that.
I just discovered it recently. So we try to do everything in a bilingual format.
You're right. Makes sense.
Yeah.
So that's great. You connect to the food bank. So obviously they know if they want to get the word out, and I'm sure many organizations know that as well, to partner with the library.
Yeah, we get calls from groups in Deming that want to come down and send us flyers, give out information, have public access meetings. Gabe Vasquez's office will come on a regular basis. Jennifer Jones will come down. Lots of people.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
So when you know, with the bilingual thing and that, how big of a challenge is that for you as far as the actual materials that you have, as far as your books and the other resources you have for people to access?
That's a good question, because the library, when I started, did not reflect that local community. And I myself didn't speak any Spanish. Just able to order off a menu, you know, that kind of a thing.
Right.
My staff, fortunately, they're both bilingual, awesome ladies. And we have basically been developing the Spanish section of the library throughout. Most of what was there, started fresh, improved what was there. We're seeing an increase in usage. And actually, a few months ago, our book checkouts exceeded our movie checkouts for the first time in 7 years.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's been a real
it is
shift.
a library, right? You know?
It is, but you know, it's not just books.
Yeah.
Right.
We know
No,
that.
that's a fact. I know that. And also, I mean, if you've never been here, guys, it's a big building. It's awesome. You guys have some space to expand and do these other
We
things
do.
with. It's a beautiful building. It's a wonderful building.
Well, it's got a colorful history too, because the first 2 rooms used to be a bar and restaurant.
Oh, really?
And they were family owned for many years by a local family and called the Pink Pony.
Oh, very
And
nice.
if you go around the corner behind the chamber, the sign is there with the Pink Pony on it.
Oh, I'll check that out.
But then they were bought by a group of retired Air Force flyers who not only ran the bar, they were smuggling marijuana in bundles across the border in their airplanes. And this was back in the late 80s, early 90s. And they were the first ones to get busted for it.
Oh, whoops.
So once again, Columbus was on the map for something notorious.
Yeah, in the news.
There's an article in High Times you can look up, you know, that talks about this whole operation. So all their property got confiscated, and the village bought the building for $1
Wow.
Wow,
and
nice.
turned it into a library.
That's a smoking deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was the idea. Let's get a
Right.
library
Right.
for $1.
Talk about
There had
turning
been a
around
volunteer
the
one,
image.
but
Yeah.
they needed room to expand. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
Man, it's such like I said, it's a really cool building. Are there any new things you recently introduced in the library, or maybe coming, that you may want to tell people about?
Oh, well, the thing is, I get bored. I don't like things to stay the same. So I'm constantly changing things. We've improved the kids section tremendously in the last couple of years. We just changed out all the lighting for LED panels instead of fluorescent,
Nice.
hoping to see the electric bill drop.
Right.
That should make
right.
an impact.
Yeah. We are constantly making sure our computers are upgraded. And I'm looking at your recording equipment thinking we need a sound booth and some recording equipment to do oral histories.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you have, like I said, you have the space and
Yeah,
some great
we do.
places you could do it.
Well, and I would imagine that people in this community have a lot of great oral histories that they can.
Yeah, and we
Great
want
to
to
get it on
capture
record.
those. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and you know, I've been involved in that for a long time, and I found that if you don't record them and don't get them down, they disappear.
Right.
You know,
right.
so it's a real important thing to do.
And there's different versions of history around here. Anybody that's looked at the
course.
Pancho Villa raid will see
Of
there's
course.
at least 3 different theories on why he raided the village, depending on who your ancestors were.
Who you talk
Right.
to.
Right.
Yeah,
Well-
and versions of whether he was a good guy or a bad guy. Or
I think they have that in Douglas too about at the Gadsden. You know, did he ride his
Sure.
horse up the stairs? And it's like, yeah,
Right.
but
Right.
We'll talk about now. You guys have an event down here, the Cabalgata, right?
Right.
What is the Cabalgata? Explain that to people.
Well, you know, Pancho Villa invaded back in 1916, and just about 30 years ago, somewhere between 25 and 30, a group got together and decided to recreate the ride. They start down in Parral in Mexico, which is a ranch where he was based, and they follow this series of villages up through Mexico, and they pick up riders along the way. takes 2 weeks for them to get through the country.
Wow.
They finally arrive in Palomas, and they get there on a Friday night. The next morning, traditionally, they would ride across and join American riders. And so the word cabalgata means horse ride, horseback ride. Now, the last few years, the Department of Agriculture won't let the horses cross. There's a quarantine, 2-week quarantine.
Wow.
I gotcha.
But we still have a big party. They still do the ride, and our riders are here on horseback.
Right. Yeah. I got to come down here and cover that one year when we were doing
Cool.
TV. I had a lot of
Yeah.
fun watching
Yeah.
that. That was great.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it. I was really jealous. I wanted to come down and be a part of the celebration, or
It's
at least
the biggest
see
party
it.
of the year here, and it's always the second weekend in March.
So it's coming up.
Yeah.
It is. Oh, yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah.
We're in the countdown for it.
Yeah, I would say you
Wow.
are. Yeah.
Now, do you guys have anything special going on here at the library?
We do. I'm going to be showing a documentary that was done. One of the theories was that a local businessman had shorted Pancho on an order of guns and ammunition, and that's why he raided the village.
Aha.
So his granddaughter did a documentary on the family stories to see whether they even compared and matched each other. It's really interesting. It's only 30 minutes long, and I'll be showing that.
That's cool. That's very interesting. I love that. A lot of history in this area. I mean,
yeah.
you come down and you see the historical markers, or even just talk to the people from the community. You see the Pancho Villa State Park that's here. And
And that's
there's
a
a lot of
controversial
history.
name. Every year somebody in Santa Fe tries to get the name changed.
Do they really?
Oh, yeah.
Why do they do that? They think it should be named something there?
You know, there's the line that we shouldn't be naming our state park after a notorious bad guy.
I get you.
Even
But-
even if he may not be a notorious bad guy.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
But yeah, that seems to be a debate, depending who you talk
is.
to.
Right, and it's a northern part of the state debate.
think-
Down here, nobody cares because it
That's
brings the
kind of
tourists
like
in.
it. Kind of reminds me of the early days of the Civil War when they had the territory divided north and south.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
That you know.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
And I think maybe some of that sentiment still exists. Maybe.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe, like you said, people who believe, hey, everybody takes a side, right? That's what usually happens. Somebody believes he's good, somebody believes he's bad. So, of course, those people are like, boo, we
Right.
can't
But
have that.
When we do the cabalgata, the big difference is we are never doing a reenactment.
Right.
We're focusing. It's called the Fiesta de Amistad, the Friendship Festival,
Right.
and it's been a huge event over the years for both countries.
I always think of it as like reaching across in the hand of peace.
Yes.
Between the two,
Yes.
because they're really in ways you and Paloma are like sister cities.
Oh yeah. They started up because Columbus was formed, and Columbus was formed because of the railroad.
Okay, that makes sense.
okay.
Because of the historic depot you guys have here.
Mhm, the copper mines in Arizona.
Right.
And I was
Right.
going to say, I mean, no matter what side you are on for Pancho Villa, there's no denying that it was a significant point in history
It was.
for this area.
Yeah.
So it seems pertinent to recognize that. I mean,
And for the U.S., because that was the training for Pershing.
Well, yeah, I was
Who
going to
went
say,
on
and then
to,
Pershing
lead
chased him
the
around
Civil
all over
War.
the place and never got anything done.
No, but he learned a lot.
Yeah, he
And
did.
he
Yeah.
took that training into the war with him.
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah.
that's
And
fascinating.
first use of airplanes for the military.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
really?
the Air Force was born out of that.
Yeah.
Well, see, there you go. Another significant
Well,
point.
it's funny because in Douglas, the first bombing mission was flown out of there with Molotov cocktails during the Revolution at the same time.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, so it was really just interesting fact because it's all kind of interconnected.
Right.
And I know that like they have a museum at the park over there. It's a pretty amazing museum.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So pretty cool. So,
Man, I love that. That's great, Steve. A couple of good points why you would talk about that. And we do have some more we want to talk about. Maria, we have some more questions we're going to get into. And we're going to give you the question of the day. But all that's going to come up here after this short timeout. We'll be back right after the break, ladies and gentlemen. Stick around.
The endless options for streaming movies, shows, and sports can be overwhelming. Valley Telecom is here to help with Stream Now, your ultimate online reference for all things streaming. Whether you're a binge watcher or just looking for a quick episode to enjoy, we've got you covered. Discover recommendations, compare platforms, and find the best content for your favorite streaming devices. Stream Now makes it simple to get the most out of your streaming experience. Enjoy the journey of discovering your next favorite show, movie, or live event all in one place. The best part is it's free to use. Unlock the door to endless viewing possibilities by going to gostreamnow.com/VTC today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter, our podcast. I'm your host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my co-host, Ralph Score. And you just heard in the spot talking about Go Stream Now. It's a free part of our website. It's attached to our main website. And if a lot of people cutting the cord is a big phrase you hear.
Yeah.
And which means a lot of people dropping satellite, cable TV, and moving to the internet to stream all their content.
Yeah.
And that's when cutting the cord, right? That's the theory behind that phrase. And if you have a lot of questions, and there's so much information out there and so much to know and so many questions
You can
about
get into
streaming.
a rabbit hole.
Oh my goodness. So many platforms available for streaming. What's free? What's not?
Yeah.
That's what this website is all about. GoStreamNow.com/VTC is all things streaming.
It is a one-stop shop for everything you might want to know as far as streaming devices, streaming services, what's free out there, because there's a lot of free streaming services out there with all kinds of content. There's no end to it.
You can look at each one of them. It gives you the pros and cons for each one, the price, a link to go to it, what studios it covers, those kinds of information.
You know, if you get a library card with us, you can stream movies through us too.
Oh, see, look at that.
See, that's great.
We have a service called Canopy, which is available to libraries.
I never knew that.
And it's called, their tagline is thoughtful entertainment.
Yeah.
A lot of documentaries, a lot of really great, highly rated movies.
So is that
And it's
one of
free
the
with the library
is that
card.
like one of the channels or apps you can get?
Yes, exactly. You
through-
just add it to your smart TV and keep going.
That's
Love
awesome.
Canopy. I got to write that down.
Ladies and
Canopy
gentlemen.
with a K.
Canopy with a K.
Yeah.
Oh,
Write that down.
Okay. I'm going to remember
We'll get that from Ray when we're
Yeah.
done.
You can fill out a library card application on your way out.
I will do that.
Well,
I am going to do
Is
that.
that even if we don't live here?
Yeah.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We don't have a membership requirement or a residency requirement for our cards.
Oh, we are definitely doing that before we leave.
We're in.
Yeah.
We're
Yeah,
in
we
all
are
the way.
in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in
Yeah.
case you guys didn't remember, we're here in Columbus, New Mexico at
Yeah.
the Public Library talking with Library Director Maria Constantine. Maria, how'd you end up in Columbus, New Mexico?
Oh, I lived up the road about 15 miles, halfway between Deming and Columbus for 20 years. And I worked for the Girl Scouts.
Really?
So I spent a lot of time coming down here trying to recruit girls,
Yeah.
sitting on village meetings and meeting some of the residents. Couldn't really get the troop thing going,
Right.
but I always loved the feel of this community.
Yeah.
It's just really quirky,
That's a good description of it.
Yeah.
It's a
And-
really
Yeah.
cool, quirky
very
community.
free-spirited, There's
know,
a lot of personality. In
I kind of
everything
always
here.
equated this as to retired hippies flying under the radar.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I left my job with scouting and an opening came here and I applied and I did not get it. They gave the job to a woman who was a previous librarian, had experience.
Okay.
Day before she was supposed to start, she had to quit because she had a family emergency and had to move back to Kansas or something.
Oh, mercy.
Wow.
So they called me up and said, "Can you come to work tomorrow?"
And the rest
an
is
opening.
history.
Yeah, exactly. And the community's small enough that they could hire a library director with no experience in the library. Because in New Mexico, you can do that.
Yeah.
So it's all been learning as I go and bringing in whatever I learned in previous jobs. And
And how long have you been here now?
7 years.
7 years at the library.
Wow, nice.
Wow.
Well, I mean, it's what a great job.
I love it.
I
Oh, it's my
bet.
dream job.
Yeah. I mean, that's all the people from, because if I saw this right, you tell me if this is accurate. I saw you guys have, in one article recently, 1,300 residents and travelers that visit the library here per month. Is that an accurate number? Pretty close?
I do, yes. We have a door
Wow.
counter that we use to track our numbers to report to the state. And people come in for the Wi-Fi. They come in for the coffee. They come in to find out where to find stuff that they need.
Right.
All right. Now, you guys have a pretty good computer setup here, too, for people
We
to
do.
access. So did they use that for everything from like job searches to
Oh, yeah.
education?
Oh, yeah. They take online classes or they come in and fill out resumes, print them here.
Yeah.
We have a printer. We're the local Kinko's. So you come in with your
So-
smartphone. You can print on our Wi-Fi network.
Wow.
Print rapid
So,
printers.
so you
Awesome.
really are like the support hub for the community.
You really are.
We have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Which also, that'd be, wow, what a benefit that is, because
Yeah.
now with the advent of the internet and it being the proliferation of it is in everything. I mean,
Right.
that, and so many people can actually work from home.
Yes.
Anywhere.
We've
Right.
had travelers that were used to working on the road,
Yeah.
and they come hang out here, and then they move to the community.
Oh, no kidding.
Oh.
Yeah. So that internet access is crucial.
Right.
It's funny when we did the ribbon cutting
Mm-hmm.
to officially launch the fiber project here at the park. Some of the people that were there were transplants, and they were talking
Yeah.
about what brought them to the community, and that's so cool to hear because it is one of these communities that I can see you wanting to put roots down. If you're traveling through, you come in here and you see really the community, the vibe, and you want to put down some roots.
Well, it's pretty unusual that our state park is within walking distance of everything. So,
yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
it's 2 blocks away from the library. And, yeah,
Right.
That's very true. It's right there.
I think what's really cool is because it's the village of Columbus, right?
Right.
And when you think about a village isn't a city. It's
Right.
it's not even a town. It's like it really is. I think village really epitomizes the word community,
Right.
in a lot of ways.
Closer,
Yeah.
closer knit
Yeah.
community is what you think of.
Yeah, you do. It's got a cozy feel to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it really does. It
Yeah.
really does. Cozy, quirky. It's a really cool community.
And I get to be a library card holder.
Me too.
Oh, yeah.
Card carrying member.
Get free ebooks and audiobooks and
Oh,
stream
I
movies.
love it. I
yeah.
love it. Okay.
All right, Maria, I'll ask you something a little not library related, but about you. Now, I understand you're an animal rescue supporter.
Sure. Yeah.
Are you
Lifetime of
actively
pets.
involved in that, in animal rescues?
I do what I can. My actual side occupation is food distributions and
Okay.
dealing with that, human rescue in that level.
Right.
Right.
I work with one organization out of Deming, Colores United, to do a food distribution. And then I help with the local one, El Corazon de Columbus, with their distributions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So it's a month of what's going on with food this week because people come to the library and need food.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense, right? Like you said,
Yeah.
it's the hub of the community.
Yeah.
When you said it yourself, it's a food desert.
Yes,
Yes.
exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
I know that's always an issue. Like I know they talk about there being a big issue in cities, right? In urban areas
Right.
of being a food desert because there's no fresh food around.
Right.
You know, I don't think people think of this as being that. So it's really interesting that you can look at that and say, well, we don't have the same resources as you have other places.
Right. And it's not that we don't have a local grocery store. We actually have a great grocery store, San Jose, and they do what they can.
Right.
But the small scale grocers can't compete with the chains because of the way their market is set up.
Right.
Right.
So they are a dependable source of a few things. And then to get the variety that people want, they'll hit the distributions.
It's very nice to have that in the community. That is do not take that for granted.
No,
That is
not at all.
a wonderful
Right.
thing to have here.
Yeah.
Available.
Yeah.
So I'd say you're to be applauded for what you can accomplish in this community and the outreach that you do. That's really a really wonderful thing.
Thanks.
You know.
Maria, I've been sitting on this and I've got to ask the question of the day for you.
Uh-oh.
Now, what it is, like Ralph had said before, it's not a right or wrong answer. It's meant to be a conversation starter, but you do have a little bit of control as you get to pick which question I'm going to ask you. So,
And it could be a conversation ender.
yeah, yes, it could be. It's entirely possible. But I have 5 questions available. So all I need you to do is pick a number between 1 and 5, and that is the question I will ask you.
I don't get to see the questions.
You do not get to see the questions ahead of time.
Surprise.
Okay. Well,
Dun, dun,
I guess I'll take a
dun.
4.
All right, number 4. The question is, Maria, if you could change your name for a day, what would it be?
I've never wanted to change my name.
Really? You have a great
I
name.
remember reading a story in junior high school about these 2 girls that changed identity for a day. And I thought, why on earth would you want to be somebody else?
Right.
That has never appealed to me. And so even changing my name, no, I love my name.
It's Maria Constantine. That is a
That's got a great ring to it. You know.
Yes,
you could be
it
a
does.
movie star. That's right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
international spy.
Yeah. And starring Maria Constantine.
Yes, that's right. So see,
As
I like that
Annie.
answer.
Well, with younger folks, like the delivery driver for FedEx, they say, "What's your name?" I say, "Constantine." He says, "How do you spell that?" I say, "Like the Vampire Slayer."
Oh, nice.
And then you know,
And they know the Keanu Reeves movie. Yeah. They're like, "Oh, okay."
They're like,
Yeah.
I got you right
Yeah,
here. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
That's
It's
easy.
Maria. It's spelled like Beyonce.
So that's a great answer. See,
Yeah.
I told you there's no right or wrong answers, right? It's
That's
like, no,
right.
I
That's
very
right.
much like my name. Thank you very much.
And it did start a conversation. So
It did.
really-
See,
yeah,
it did.
that's
See,
great.
totally.
Great.
So success.
Yeah.
So Maria, if people want to come visit the library, let's talk about where it's located, hours of operation, those kind of things.
We are on the, in Columbus, just off of Highway 11, that runs
Right.
from Deming and runs straight down to the border. And once you turn onto Broadway Street, it's the street that has the gas station and the Village Park with the little gazebo.
Yep.
Once you turn onto Broadway, you cannot miss the big pink building about a block down on your left.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah.
It stands by itself.
I guess
It
that
does.
harkens back to the pink pony in a way.
Well, actually, it doesn't. This is a new paint job.
Oh.
Very
with
nice.
our current mayor. So the building was a plain brown for many years.
I remember that.
Yeah, and
That's right.
We have a Friday afternoon fiber group, and they decided to yarn bomb the library, and that is where you create knit and crocheted pieces, and you attach them to trees or fence posts or whatever.
Oh, cool.
And so
Yard
they
bombing.
planned this project way back when the building was brown to brighten up the building.
Yeah.
By the time we got the pieces done, the building had been painted hot pink and blue. and the pieces kind of blend in, but if you go look at the front porch, all the poles are covered with knitted sleeves.
Oh.
Right.
And people love it. They're always telling us that.
That's cool.
That's
like
really
it,
cool.
yeah.
That's
Looks
really
like
cool.
you've been the subject of a yarn bombing.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yarn bombing.
Yes.
I got to remember that. I got to tell my wife about that. I mean,
Oh,
let's
yeah.
let's go yarn bomb your sister's house.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Well, today's guest has been Library Director Maria Constantine down here in the Village of Columbus at the Public Library. Maria, thank you very much for being a guest.
Well, thank you. You guys were not scary at all.
That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said
That's
to me,
right.
Maria.
Well,
they've been scary.
Yes, it is the nicest thing anybody's ever said about us.
Guys, that's going to do it for this episode of Valley's Bits, Bytes, and Banter. I'm your host, Bob Dahlstrom, along with my co-host, Ralph Score. I want to encourage you guys to listen, download, share, follow, and we'll see you down the road. Take care, everyone.